Hello everyone, my name is Axelablaze, and today's video slash podcast is gonna be different from the usual. This is gonna be a solo video slash episode because for those that might not be aware of this yet, as of a couple days ago, the Axelablaze Productions YouTube channel has officially been approved for monetization. Um, and honestly, it is so crazy to even just, to process that. It's been a year in the making. Um, Funny enough, the current iteration of this channel has been going now for a year. I started the channel back up in September of 2020. So it's been a like just about a year that this channel has gotten to where it has. And the journey getting here honestly has been nothing short of incredible. There's no way I would have anticipated being where I am today a year ago. And I definitely didn't anticipate that um, years before that as well. So in today's video, in today's podcast episode, where we're going to be focusing on Axel, but talking about Axel and friends. Um, I kind of wanted to do a retrospective on this channel, um, looking back at this year, looking at everything that's happened, as well as sharing information on what was before this channel. But before we do, again, I want to thank each and every person that has made this possible. um and I'm it's it's not gonna be one of those, oh, it's you don't have to thank us, like it's you are the one that put in the effort. I'm never gonna be one of those people that is solely going to take credit for being where I am. There are a lot of people that I can thank for helping me to be here today, and I would not be here without the help of everyone here that has supported me along the way. So I can't thank you enough. Um, and for those that might be new to the channel, I hope you will indulge me as we, talk about what this year has been like. And again, if you're new to the channel, consider looking at some of the other videos and podcasts and whatnot that I've done over this year, and maybe even checking out some of the stuff that came before. So segueing into that, believe it or not, the current version of the Axelablaze Productions YouTube channel is actually my fourth attempt, more or less, three and a half maybe, into trying to get into YouTube and actually doing something with it. The very first iteration, the very first content that I was doing a podcast called The Dork List, and I was doing that with my friend Darian. He's been on the channel a couple times. A lot of the stuff that we've done together was Super Sentai and Kamen Rider related, but when we did the Dork List, and this was back in April 2015, we talked about general anime pop culture based things. We did it into like an hour plus format podcast, and it was a way to utilize one of my strengths. For those that don't know, my college degree is in communication studies, with a broadcast emphasis. So I went to school and I learned some of the ins and outs of TV production, radio production, etc. And podcasting has always been something that's been really enjoyable to me. I love having a conversation, whether that's having a conversation with an audience, whether that's having a conversation with a guest or multiple guests. It's something that I love. And I love that energy that I get off people. My friend Darian is one of those people that has a lot of energy. Sometimes a lot of energy. Sometimes bringing it to an 11 when we need more of like a 7 or 6. But it's one of the things I love about the guy. And we did the Dorkless podcast for a good amount of time. We did like 12 or so episodes. We even did some one-off videos where we did topic-based discussions on like top 5, worst 5 kinds of things. Honestly, one of the funniest ones that we did was talking about like our top 5 worst Pokemon in the entire franchise. Now, mind you, this was back when we only had 6 generations of Pokemon, but still, like, it was hilarious. I just loved having that comedic aspect to it. And then after that, in February of 2016, I tried a gaming channel with some friends of mine, and we called it Rainbow Road Crew with a K, and because we were kooky like that. And we played various video games and whatnot. We tried doing some various challenge-based things. Our channel never really got off the ground. Crazy enough, like the video that we had with the most views was like this Ni Hao Kai Lan video, which was incredibly dumb that we were playing Ni Hao Kai Lan, but like it got 3,000 however many views. Even like we played like these Rugrats N64 games and got a ton of views off of that. And by ton, I mean relatively a ton. Like we were talking like over 1,000 views for each one. And as time went on, there were like random videos that would get views as well. That was a channel that had its ups and downs, had its issues. We were never really consistent enough, unfortunately. And that's kind of what happens when you have a big group of people and you can't consistently get together to do content. But I will say gaming was something that was really enjoyable, and it is something that I would like to do again in the future. Now that YouTube is monetized for me, I do still want to keep it, anime and manga based, more or less the focus on this channel, but I would like to do gaming on Twitch in the future as well. I would absolutely love to do some Pokemon Nuzlocke, among other things. But obviously, first and foremost, my focus was on getting monetization through YouTube. And like I said, we got to that. But before my run in that started last year in September, there was another period, like there was one other, essentially a test run of the channel before the current iteration of this. There was a period of time, and I'm trying to think, I'm trying to get the exact time frame of it. So let's see here. It was back in, so April of 2019 was when I tried essentially like an in-person iteration of what we've currently got. And I did various topics that were anime and manga related. One of the big ones that I did, funny enough, based on one of my more recent videos, was me talking about the 4 new Shonen Jump series that came out, with Samurai 8 being one of them. One of the videos that like I first started out with was like a top 6 new series by your favorite artists. And this was back when I wasn't trying to do too much spoilery thumbnails, and even now I still don't do that either, but that was something where it was like, hey, you ever notice how like certain manga artists create a new series? Well, here are 6 ones that you might not have realized that were part of that. And it never really got off the ground, and it is what it is. Honestly, the one standout thing from the test run of this current version of the channel was my idea for a video series called The Arcs That Anime Forgot, that was covering, as the name suggests, the story arcs and manga that never made it into the anime adaptation of the manga. And I started that out with iShield 21 because iShield 21 is one of my favorite sports series of all time. Honestly, one of my favorite manga of all time, period. iShield 21 is one of the few series that I have read, oh my gosh, I think 5 times at this point. And I also dabbled with the anime. The anime adaptation was not great, but it kind of gave me an outlet for doing content. And I was just like, all right, let's talk about iShield 21 and the manga arcs that didn't get animated. So the first episode of that was fantastic, had great reception, and then I fumbled by not keeping up with it. And funny enough, I actually still have the script for the part 2 of the arcs that anime forgot for iShield 21. I just never got back into doing it, partly because, like I had mentioned before, that was when I was still doing the video format where I was in person. I was filming in front of my bookshelf, and it took a lot of takes because I had this, like, again, like, with my radio broadcast background, I had a makeshift teleprompter set up in my bedroom with like my Asus computer monitor that would be like scrolling my script as I was looking into the camera and trying to make it look like that I was looking into the camera, not a teleprompter. And it was literally one of the most makeshift setups, and I've done it multiple times, but it is absolutely obnoxious. And as I learned this past year, there was a format that was going to work a lot better for me, which we'll get to in just a moment. The thing that made me go on my hiatus from my previous iteration and then starting to back where I was in September of last year was streaming issues. This was back when, again, any videos that I was making were made in my bedroom. The current office that I have was just being used as a storage room. It was a mess. So any videos that I was recording was being done in the bedroom. And the issue with that is I live in a duplex currently where there is no air conditioning. So we had a box air conditioner, and I would have to run that. I would have to not run the air conditioner while I was locked in the bedroom, super hot in the summertime, and I was using my Sony camera rather than a webcam, and that was having its own issues, and I was just super frustrated. This was also a period of time where I was doing Shonen Jump reviews, while I was a small channel, and that is a lot of effort for very little payoff, which is why I stopped doing Shonen Jump reviews. I didn't have the ability and time to create them in a timely manner when everyone else is churning out videos, during spoilers and whatnot, or leaked scans, stuff like that. And I'm not one of those people that would ever want to do that. I prefer releasing with the official release just because not everyone likes reading scans. I mean, to be fair, they're not official for a reason, but I'm not going to get into that soapbox. Part of the other reason too is that I was, and for those that are familiar with it, since I've covered it in various topics before, I was collecting data for Shonen Jump series and trying to determine, what was successful and what was not, back in the day. Because I was really inspired by Super Eyepatch Wolf and some of the videos that he did, but I wanted to do it better in a way, because I felt like there was certain information that wasn't being covered. with Super Eye Patch Wolf, it was always like one of two flip sides of the coin. You had him starting out where, oh, it's all based on TOC positioning, and then he converted purely over to manga sales, and it's a manga's success is a combination of both and other things at the same time. So I was trying to cover my bases with that. So when I started back up in September, I started out with doing two podcasts that actually released in October, funny enough. I did one with my friend Darian from the Dork List, as well as my friend Garrett, where we did a two-part split podcast talking about Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, where one half was on my channel and the other half was on my friend Darian's podcast. And then the other one was doing my take on the state of Jump, and I did that for October 2020. And yeah, like it was moderately okay. Again, like keep in mind when I started back up in September of 2020, I had around 40ish subscribers. So again, kind of small potatoes, but it obviously we grew. And again, we'll get to that. And then following that, I was just like, all right, let's do something themed. And that's when I created Spooktober 2020. And I did podcast episodes that were based on horror or horror adjacent topics. So I covered the Scoob and Shag webtoon, I covered the manga Libidors, I covered the Gantz movies with my girlfriend, and I also covered the Junji Ito books with my girlfriend. And the reception was very low, admittedly, and I'm not honestly surprised by that. For those that don't know, the Libidors video podcast that I have is actually the only age-restricted video on my channel, and it was always funny to me looking at the logistics for that, because like you would see like a minute of like view time for the video because the people were clicking on it for the age-restricted aspects of it rather than actually talking about the series itself. And I really enjoyed doing Spooktober, just because it was fun doing Halloween horror-based things, and I do intend on bringing that back for this year. Obviously following the Axel and Friends podcast format, but that is definitely something that I want to do again, because, again, it's absolutely fun talking about horror-related things, and I definitely need to bring my girlfriend back on so we can cover the Junji Ito books that had been published since last year. And you can check out any of the videos that we've already talked about are all on my YouTube channel. You're more than free to give them a watch or listen and just kind of see where I started, because where I started, again, even a year ago, is very different from where I am now. Past Spooktober, I was still releasing podcast episodes every week, or at least attempting to do so going into December. And December is where everything changed. Everything. So, leading into December, I got onto Twitter because I wanted to try and reach out, try and build some community, meet other people in the community. And the first person that did any collabs with me, and I honestly thank for kind of getting me out of my shell, was Broken Ronin. In December of 2020, he and I did two collabs on his channel. One was a narrative debate between Asta and Deku as to which one is a better main character, and the other one was talking about the most underrated manga of 2020. And it was the first time that I'd ever done any kind of collabs with anyone that was outside of my real life friend group, and it was a lot of fun. It was just surreal, kind of getting to meet other people from the community. And again, considering this was again back when I had like less than 70 subscribers. And and in the grand scheme of things, I'm still a small content creator, but like the fact that I got to collab with somebody that had a bigger platform than me was so cool. And I still can't thank him enough for all the support and whatnot that he's shown me on Twitter, through any of the the collaborations that we've done. Just super cool guy. Love him. It's just, and again, I can't thank him enough. And then was the faded Masked Man video that really was the plot device for me, that really kicked things into gear. Where I was, one day sitting on one of the various Masked Man Discord servers before, getting nuked, removed, etc., etc. And there was a notification to everyone saying, hey, Masked is doing this video with his fans and whatnot, where you have a minute to pitch a manga series. And I was just like, this sounds interesting. I love suggesting manga and anime to people. I'm gonna give it a shot. So I waited through however many people to get through the process. I was given my minute to shine. I had my written out script that I had made, so I could really sell the best points of the manga, which, for those that don't know, was So no Frieren, which is still one of my favorite series that came out of 2020. Hands down, I love it. I keep up with it every week, and I'm very excited for the physical release. And the response was, like, again, I've used the word before, but surreal. Mast said, like, that was really good. Like, you should do a YouTube channel. And I was just like, I have a YouTube channel. And he was like, well, give me the details and I'll share it. And he did, and I went from like 70 some subscribers at like the last day or so of 2020 to over 1,000 subscribers in the span of 2 weeks. And again, like I said, this was my 4th attempt at a YouTube channel, and to go from that amount to over 1,000 blew my mind. I was the giddiest I have ever been. I kept checking my phone because the numbers were crazy. People were flooding my comment section saying like, hey, I was sent here from Masked Man's video and I really dig the content that you're doing and I love what I'm seeing. And it was absolutely crazy. And that being said, one of the other aspects of the channel that I glossed over getting over here, but really became part of my identity, was because of one character, one dolphin man, Orphe the Dolphin from Hard Boiled Cop and Dolphin. I never expected the response that I got for having Orphe as like a channel mascot. For those that don't know, one of my nicknames back in high school was Dolphin Boy. And then I became Dolphin Man once I graduated high school. But it was super cool to me that there was an actual dolphin character in a manga series. And by Ryuhei Tamura at that, who I loved from Beelzebub. And it's still kind of funny to me in a way that like I have some more notoriety as the Dolphin Man through my YouTube channel than Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin got in the West as a manga, but it is what it is. I have loved using Orphe as my channel mascot. I still intend on using him. I plan on doing some modifications and whatnot, and I'm intent on commissioning somebody to do more art, so I don't have to keep doing the manga rips that I have been using. But it's become part of this identity for the channel, and I love it. And I love that people were so responsive to that, and that was part of the thing that people were responsive to coming from Masked Man's channel. The fact that we're like, oh, you're like enjoying your content, Dolphin Man, I'm gonna stick around. And it's through that I started building even more of my connections, both on YouTube and on Twitter. um I got to be part of some amazing communities and meeting great new people. Um, Two of which, other than Ronan and Masked Man, were Sensei and Project Manga. I have done so many things with those guys, and I've really enjoyed the time that I've spent with all of them. The fact that like I'm someone that they want to do content with. I'm someone that they want to do streams with. I'm someone that they want to have, late night chats on Discord, and like putting our hearts out there and like being real in the moment. The fact that I've found these awesome real people through YouTube, through the anime manga community on YouTube and Twitter, it's been fantastic. And I've made like legitimate connections, people I call friends at this point. Like like I have made so many cool friends through this experience, and it has been so fantastic. And I've done collaborations with other people as well. I've done several collaborations with Manga Crash. The dynamic between the two of us has always been fun, and I've also loved seeing the growth that Crash has experienced, as a fellow new creator, or at least someone, again, within this last year that has started to grow. The very first collaboration that I did on my channel, I did with Broken Ronin, Tokyo Tron, Tay is the Best, and King Uzumaki, as we did our shonen world building tier list, which was a process from hell, because that was my first time using OBS, and if it wasn't for Ronan recording the first half of the audio on his own, an entire 5 hours of audio would have just been scuffed and awful. And oh my god, it was and like, again, we recorded those over the span of 5 hours, and Tay was an absolute like champ with that, just because he was in a different time zone, like, again, across the ocean compared to the rest of us. So like we started out early, went late, and it was close to like midnight, if not past, when we stopped recording with him. So again, absolute fantastic. And then everyone that I've collaborated with for the Axel and Friends podcast: Seth the Sin, Aniki Smash, Pokesoul, Shonen OG, Drew from What If Universe, World D Champion Walk-ins, Legend D Vash from Anime Lately, Dad Needs to Talk podcast. Like, it's been so... You guys don't know how much fun, how much joy this podcast experience has been with everyone that has been involved. For anyone that's been a guest on my show, you don't know how much it means to me that you took the time to be there with me, having a conversation and just letting it all out there. Like, I have had so much fun in the past few months doing this podcast, and it's been exceptional. And I know there are a lot of people that want my shorter video content back again, and I fully intend on doing it, especially now that we're monetized. Like, I have every intention of putting in the effort and making more things. But I will admit that revamping my podcast, the Axel and Friends podcast, was really what it reignited my passion for the channel, especially because it came from a darker place where back in February I became unemployed again for the second time in 2 years. And for some people, that they can turn that into an opportunity, and I will be one of the first to admit that I didn't. Like, that was a dark time for me, like a bit emotionally. I was suppressing a lot of things. I didn't want to make that shown. I didn't want to make that about me, and so I did my best not to do so. And the podcast really allowed me to come back out of my shell, do something that I enjoy and that I'm good at. And it's been rewarding. Even if the views, even if the hours on the videos haven't been, the same across the board, even if they haven't been, crazy numbers, they've been so enjoyable, and I've appreciated every second of them, so much. And I do fully intend on keeping the podcast format. Like I said, I intend on doing short videos again, not just doing like Axel Bites, but doing actual scripted videos and unscripted videos and releasing them on a weekly basis. But the podcast is here to stay, because again, even if it doesn't get the views, it's something that I enjoy. I feel like it fills a niche, because you get in the anime manga podcast realm, just again because of logistics, because of algorithms, it's safe and easy to stay in the realm of the things that are popular, the easy topics to talk about. But I love delving deeper. I love talking about general topics. I love talking about the things that people aren't talking about enough of, whether that's a manga series that isn't getting the love that it deserves, whether it's talking about the numbers that people ignore in favor of sales numbers, whether it's talking about hot takes and how people in the anime space don't understand nuance. Like, there are so many things, so many topics that had been so much fun to do with people here on YouTube, and it's been so much fun. And I genuinely hope that, again, for the guests that I've had, and for the audience as well, that you've enjoyed those experiences too. For the people that have stuck with me, for the people that have watched and or listened to these podcasts, I hope that there's been at least one or two topics that like really connected with you, and you're like, yeah, this is something that I don't get from other channels, other people, and whatnot. So I hope that has been something for people. Yeah, I know this has been a much sappier podcast than I think people are used to, but like, again, I am incredibly thankful for being here, and getting to this place thanks to the help and support of everyone that has been there along the way. Like, every comment that has been in a comment section, anyone that has liked, retweeted, talked to me in a group chat on Twitter or Discord or anything, like, and for the small group of people that have been part of my Discord server, which is like this quaint little, we're quiet, but like it's this fun server, and I love it. Like, I wouldn't be here without all of you, and I can't thank you enough for being there and making this experience as enjoyable as it has been. So again, thank you for all of that. I guess moving past the sentimental side of things, I am excited for what the future of the channel looks like. What the future of the Axelablaze Productions brand looks like. I'm excited to do more content, collaborate with more people, like I said, potentially build up a Twitch platform where I can do gaming or other things, just to hang out with people and have fun and continue to have fun with all of you. I fully intend on growing further. I also fully intend on getting that Joestar tattoo for getting to 1,000 subscribers. I just have not gone to a tattoo parlor yet to book my appointment, but I still intend on doing that. I also fully intend on, maintaining my deal on whether we get to 10,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. And I know that's a long way away at this point still, but if we do get to that point, even if that's not this year, I'm going to follow through with it. Like, once this channel gets to 10,000 subscribers, I'll get an arm tattoo. If we get to 100,000 subscribers, I will get a sleeve tattoo. And these aren't things that, like, I'm gonna regret or whatnot later. These are things I want to get them as a sign of success. To have that meaning of, like, you did this, and this is your reward. This is the thing that will help you to remember that you got here, and got here with the help and support of people around you. So it's not going to be something that I renege on or anything like that. No, I fully intend on doing that, and I, again, legitimately hope that I can do that moving forward. I would still absolutely love to do some collaborations with people that I haven't done so before, as well as big people out there, people that I really respect, people that, like, I would just love having a conversation with. And if, as well as, like, if there are, like, people that you guys want to see me try and collaborate with, I'd love to hear your responses on that. The one other thing that I want to do is I want to do a Q&A for reaching monetization. I want to do a Q&A session based on questions that you guys have, and I will do that for the next podcast episode. After that, we will get back into the regular Axel and Friends podcast. I'm fully intending on doing Spooktober for 2021. So if there are people out there that want to do some horror, anime, manga, movie, cartoon content with me, reach out and we can definitely do that. But I would love to work with other people out there, big and small, because, like I've said before too, I want to pay it back and I want to pay it forward. There are other people out there that help me to get to where I am right now. And if I can even do a little bit to help other people grow as well, I would love to do that. So my DMs are open on Twitter. My DMs are open on Discord. And obviously I'm on YouTube and whatnot as well. So the door is open, and I'd love to hear from people. Other than that, I'd like to kind of wrap things up here. And I know this isn't as long as other podcasts, but because this is just me talking, it's not something that needs to be longer per se. I love where the channel's at. I love the channel mascot that I've got. I love Orphe. That's not something that's going to change. I want to continue to grow, adapt, and make things better. I would also love to hire editors in the future once I've got, like, enough cash flow to justify that, because even though I can edit to an extent, I recognize that there are people out there that have more talent with that than me. Honestly, with the thumbnails too, I think that's something where, like, I'm definitely going to keep trying. I will. But I would love to reach out to people and get help on thumbnails, editing, and whatnot, and provide more content more regularly. Because I think with that too, if I'm able to have editors, people that do thumbnails, I can put out more regular content, like other people out there, and do more with you guys. Like I said, Orphe is not going away. I definitely want to redesign him a little bit, cause so we can make him more my own, and not just use the manga rips from Ryuhei Tamura. Um, I want to be inspired by him. I want to do stuff that looks cool. Um, so yeah, I also really want to do like a version of like Pulp Fiction, um, with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson with like the guns and the suits, and have like Orphe and me, and like I would love to do that. I would love to slap that on a shirt or a poster or something. And yeah, I would definitely love to do merch in the future as well once other things have been settled down. But I guess in the meantime, I at the very least I want to reestablish like a promise to this channel of being here, making content that people can enjoy, and continuing to do so. I have no intention of going anytime soon. Um, it would be an absolute waste for me to squander this opportunity that everyone has given me to get to monetization and whatnot. Um, I would love to get sponsors in the future. I know I'm still small, but hey, I guess you never know. As long as it's not anything that's questionable in sales practice or whatnot. So I will keep myself accountable in that regard. Um, but yeah, I'm making this promise that I will continue to make content and do my best to keep making great content for everyone to enjoy. So, for anyone that's still here with me, for anyone that has indulged me in this 40-minute talk session of me just kind of gushing and whatnot and being thankful and telling my tale, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of my community and making this whole process enjoyable. It means a lot to me. It means more than you can know that I have this amazing community of people out there that are supportive of me and supportive of the content that I do. So thank you. Thank you so much for being there. For anyone that is new and is still here, you are the real champion, and I hope you consider subscribing and checking out, you know, some of my older content as well as what's to come. And if you are somebody that's subscribed and you haven't checked out, you know, some of my older content, give it a watch. See how far I've come. Whether that's, you know, the stuff from last year, whether that's the stuff from 2 years ago, whether you even check out the Dork List videos that I have from several years ago that are still on this channel. Like, give it a watch. See how far we've gotten, and like, I hope you look forward to what's to come in the future. Other than that, like I said, I'm going to be doing a Q&A for the next podcast, and then we'll get back into the standard format for the Axel and Friends podcast. So if you have any questions for me that you want to see answered in the next video, put them in this video in the comment section. I will also have posts on Twitter and my Discord, both of which the links to those are in the description. So if you're not following me on Twitter already and you want to follow me on Twitter, link is down in the description. And if you want to be part of my Discord server, as we're still steadily growing, the link to that is also in the description down below. Otherwise, for now, I know I've said it several times already, but again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for making this year so memorable, so enjoyable, and just reigniting my passion for anime and manga. More than I was already passionate for. I've never had this much fun doing content like I am right now, and you guys are part of that. So thank you. And until the next time, my name is Axelablaze, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.